What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. This time, we are going to jump back over to DC Comics, and we are going to continue our coverage over Night Terror, the current DC summer event that is currently going on. Remember that when it comes to this event, the world was plunged into a world full of nightmares. Everyone has fallen asleep, of course, so they can experience these nightmares in their dreams. This was all done by a certain character known as Insomnia, who is looking for the Nightmare Stone, and once he gets that, he will be really powerful, except the Nightmare Stone seems to be placed in someone's dream. And so all of the tie-ins that we are getting are just 2 books apiece for each character. And we can see their nightmares, but also see if the Nightmare Stone was placed in their dreams or not. And we are going to pick up with Poison Ivy and see what her nightmare is all about. And of course, this is only the first part to her nightmare, but she will have a second issue down the road, and we will cover that one down the road as well. But here is Poison Ivy Part 1. Now, if you're wondering when does this take place when it comes to the Ivy series, well, it takes place after the 12th or 13th issue. I say the 13th issue, but either way, it has to be between or after those books because it is when Ivy had came back to Gotham to be with Harley, but to also continue her mission to save the plant life, but to also save the humans as well, trying to save the entire Earth. But something else to mention is that she had brought Janet with her as well. Someone Ivy had saved in the past but came back into the picture, and we see that she has some feelings for Ivy, and we also have this love triangle situation going on now. Because right before the dawn of DC, which is issue number 13, her and Janet made out. So there is everything you need to know before diving into this nightmare of Poison Ivy, because honestly, it's a tad bit important. Now, when it comes to the opening pages of this book, I honestly like it a lot. And the reason why, because we pick up with Ivy. Oh, by the way, Ivy is still awake, which tells us it takes place right before Insomnia had plunged the world into nightmares, because right now she is still awake. Now, with her being awake, this is where I say I like the opening pages a lot, because you have Ivy talk to us, the readers. And when she does, she says, hey, when it comes to dreams, we always dream about something we want in life, or we always dream about accomplishing some kind of goal in life. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But this is where things get a tad bit interesting, because she says there's no problem with dreaming about things you want in life or goals you want to accomplish. But where people actually mess up is that they don't realize they have to sacrifice things to get the things they actually want in life. So meaning that if you want some kind of job position or some kind of promotion at your current job, you're going to have to put in the extra hours. If you want some kind of fancy job, you're going to need the certifications or the requirements to get the job, which means you might have to work extra hard to get those requirements, to get those certifications. And so right now, it's her saying that when it comes to people, usually we're not ready to sacrifice things to get the things we want in our dreams. Now, right after she says that, she does pass out, because that is the moment Insomnia had put the entire world to sleep. And so finally getting into the nightmare of Poison Ivy, we come to find out that her surroundings has been completely changed. Now, Ivy also realizes that as well, because when she turns around, everything looks so happy. The colors are so bright. Oh, by the way, the sun is also smiling as well, but I want to say one thing. That is one creepy kind of smile. Now, when Ivy realized that something is wrong, that something has changed around her, that is the moment she gets confronted by Harley Quinn. Because remember, Harley Quinn is her girlfriend currently in DC Comics, but this is where things get very interesting. And the reason why I say that, because when it comes to Ivy, she begins to realize that Harley Quinn is not acting like she usually does. Now, technically, Harley Quinn is always happy, and right now Harley is happy again. But the way Harley is dressed, and Harley's now baking, which something I have never seen Harley ever do in her whole life. But either way, she's baking, she's very happy, and she even tells Ivy, look, I don't know why you're not happy right now. We have our dream house, we're in our dream neighborhood, we have everything we want in life. But Ivy realized that this is not their dream house, because this house right now is so happy, so positive. And when it comes to Ivy, that's not her at all. This entire house is not her. And so she's very confused that Harley Quinn is saying, oh yeah, look at us, babe. We got all this great stuff. We got everything we want. But for Ivy, none of this is what she wants at all. But it's Ivy realizing, okay, something is off here. But then things get crazier when she meets her neighbors in this nightmare. And she comes to find out that her neighbors is actually Batman. Now, neighbor, because, well, it is neighbors. We'll find out who his wife here in a second is. But for right now, it's just Batman. Either way, you have Batman right now saying, hi, neighbors, what's going on? Like, I'm just outside grilling, making burgers, hot dogs. You want one? He's being a total different kind of character right now in her nightmare. But when it comes to Ivy, she freaks out because she sees Batman. And usually when she does see Batman, it's for two reasons. One, he needs her help, but when she does help him, something bad always happens to her. But other times, it's him trying to throw her in jail. And so she begins to freak out because she sees Batman. But then she sees Selina Kyle, Batman's wife, in this nightmare. And they're married and they have a kid on the way. And so right now it's Ivy just freaking out even more because she knows what she remembers. When it comes to Batman, they are enemies. When it comes to Selina Kyle, her and Batman are not together. And on top of that, she is not pregnant. But for Ivy right now, she has no idea what's going on. She has no idea that technically she is in a nightmare. Now, you do have Harley Quinn talk to Ivy and try to calm her down, being like, hey, honey, what's happening to you? We're in a great area. Everybody is technically the same. We're all happy and we're always here for each other. And so this is Ivy beginning to think that maybe she should change. Maybe she should believe what Harley Quinn is actually saying and try to enjoy this new life, even though this new life is technically a nightmare right now, which means it may seem great for right now, but later on, things are going to get worse. And so that is the moment where we see that Janet is in the same nightmare with Ivy. Now, this is where things get a tad bit confusing. And the reason why, because I don't think it's possible to have both characters in the same nightmare together, but hey, you know what? Move on. But I do say this right here. It's going to make the love triangle a tad bit more interesting when it comes to Ivy, Janet, and Harley Quinn. Either way, for Janet, she realized that where she's at right now is completely wrong. The neighborhood has changed. Everything is more happy. The colors are more bright. The sun is being creepy again. She realizing that this right here is not right at all. But unfortunately, she is stuck here. Now, when she walks around the neighborhood, she does see other characters from Gotham City. So the Penguin, Batgirl, Nightwing, the Riddler, and I want to say Two-Face as well. But either way, she realized something is off. Everybody in the neighborhood right now are just too happy. Too happy for someone or really a group of people to be all at once. Usually you may have one person in your group like that, but not every single person on high level of pure happiness. Either way, right now, she realized she has to find someone that she knows who's possibly normal. And that is the moment she hears a laughter. And that laughter is, of course, Poison Ivy. And so when she does find Ivy, she does see Ivy with Harley Quinn, Batman, and Selina Kyle. Now, for Janet, she realized, okay, Ivy is not as happy as the others in this neighborhood, which means that, okay, her and I are both in the same nightmare. But if I work with her, maybe, just maybe, we can break out of this, well, nightmare possibly. Except when she goes over to Ivy and try to talk to Ivy, well, Ivy is not listening. Ivy is beginning to change into, well, one of them. Because right now she does tell Janet, at first, when I did arrive here, I believe everything was wrong. But the more time spent here, the happier I get. And the more I want to stay here with Harley, Batman, and also Selina Kyle. Now, you do have Janet say, no, what's happening to you right now is completely wrong. That right now, you and I need to work together to break you free and break me free as well from this world, because none of this is actually real. But then you have Ivy snap back at her and say, no, you're just mad because I found pure happiness. Not everything has to be sad and depressing. Sometimes things can be happy and great. And right now, I'm in a great place right now. I'm with Harley. I'm happy. She's happy. Just leave us alone. And this is Ivy beginning to change, because remember, at the very beginning of the dream, she was very concerned of where she was at. She was very concerned how Harley was talking. But right now, it's Ivy enjoying this world and beginning to get stuck in this world. Now, when Ivy and Harley walk away, you have Batman and Selina confront Janet, but with those creepy smiles, where of course she does get freaked out, but it means that Batman's kind of like, I don't think you belong here in this area. But going inside the dream house of Ivy and Harley Quinn, this is where things get very interesting. And what I mean by that is, you have Ivy walk out the room in a dress. Now, that part right there is not weird at all. Matter of fact, you even have Harley say, hey, oh my gosh, honey, you look so cute. You look so beautiful. That part right there is not creepy. What comes after that part is creepy, because right after Harley said that, well, if you look at her mouth, you do see some kind of substance, some kind of liquid slowly coming out of her mouth, which makes things even creepier. Now, let's not forget though, when it comes to Ivy, the longer she has stayed in this nightmare realm, the happier she had become. Now, here's the catch though, because Ivy has been drinking and eating in this nightmare of hers, and it seems like whatever she has been eating and drinking is changing her. Because if we jump over to Janet, she's been in this nightmare as well, but she's not getting happier like Ivy did, because Janet has not eaten or drink anything at all, which means that the substance that's coming out of not Ivy's mouth, out of Harley Quinn's mouth may have been used in drinks or food that Ivy has eaten or drink so far. Because right when Ivy and Harley kiss, that same substance leaves Harley's mouth and goes into Ivy's mouth. And Ivy gets even happier, to the point where it seems like she's very insane happy. And so right now, it seems Ivy is under control by Harley Quinn, or possibly Insomnia himself. We have no idea. Either way, Ivy right now is just so happy, she definitely doesn't want to leave. But getting back over to Janet, we do see her right now freaking out and trying to run away. And the reason why, because everybody else in the neighborhood right now is trying to kill her off. And the reason why, because of them, they're saying, you're trying to take away the happiness that we gave to Poison Ivy, something that she always wanted, something that she worked so hard to get. And here you are right now trying to take that away from her. That right there is not okay. And so right now you have everybody else in this nightmare neighborhood trying to kill off Janet. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. The next video for Ivy should be part 2 of this storyline right here. But with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you did, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.